The first crack in my perfect life came without warning. One moment I was laughing over coffee with Adam, planning our future, imagining children and vacations and quiet Sunday mornings. The next, a single phone call shattered everything. "There's been an accident," the voice said, calm, detached, final. My hands went cold, my heart stopped mid-beat. Adam. Gone. 7 months later, the world still feels off-kilter. Some mornings, I wake expecting him to be there, making toast or scrolling through his emails. Everything, his mug, the scent of his cologne, the chair at the dining table, reminds me that he isn't. That nothing is as I thought it was. The first weeks blurred into one another. Funeral arrangements, calls, condolences, flowers. My parents quietly took over most of the logistics, their voices gentler than ever, almost tender. But when Laura arrived, 8 months pregnant, the old pattern reasserted itself. Their eyes lit up for her the moment she stepped in. Their arms opened for her. For me, there was nothing but the air in the room. I returned to work part-time, clinging to routine to keep myself tethered to life. Support groups became my sanctuary. Every Friday evening, I sat with strangers who understood grief's rhythm, who spoke the same language of heartbreak. "Grief comes in waves," Rachel said, squeezing my hand, and for a moment, I believed her. But the waves crashed harder than words could ever explain. At home, the shadows of memory surrounded me. Adam's clothes, his photographs, the coffee mug I still left out each morning, it all mocked the void. And then there was Laura, my sister, thriving effortlessly in the glow I had never received. That night, at a family dinner, Mom shuffled me aside for her, fussing over her swollen feet and glowing skin. I sank into the shadows, a ghost in my own home. Trying to connect, I asked gently, "So, who's the father?" Laura's eyes flickered with annoyance. "That's my business," she snapped. Their immediate defense of her, without hesitation, reopened old wounds. I swallowed the pain, forcing a smile, hoping perhaps this was different, that this time she might have changed. But as I watched the room bend to her, laughter surrounding her every word, I felt it, the creeping, familiar ache of being invisible. I should have known. Laura had always found a way to shine while I faded. And yet, I could not have prepared for what she would do next. Weeks passed, each one heavier than the last. Laura invited me to her baby shower. I hesitated but went, clutching gifts for the future niece or nephew I hadn't yet met. The house had been transformed into a pastel storm. Balloons, streamers, giggling relatives, and friends. Laura stood at the center in a dress that shimmered like sunlight, the room orbiting around her. I tried to participate in the games, smiling, laughing, measuring bellies, and guessing due dates. But every glance Laura gave me carried something unspoken, almost predatory, and my stomach churned. She opened my gift, the handmade baby blanket, and held it reverently. Then, the air thickened. She raised her voice. "Everyone, there's something else you need to know. The father of my baby," she paused, and my heart stopped, "is Adam Chastain." The room gasped. My world tilted. I felt my knees weaken. My parents' calm faces didn't comfort me. They were complicit, or at least unsurprised. Pictures flashed across my mind. Adam smiling at me, us holding hands, everything we had shared, shattered into fragments of a lie. Laura continued, claiming her child deserved Adam's inheritance. My voice caught in my throat, disbelief colliding with rage. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move. I fled the room. The messages started instantly, screenshots, texts, proof of betrayal. Adam had been living a secret life with my own sister. For days, I wandered in a fog, haunted by every memory, wondering if any of it had been real. Work became unbearable. Colleagues whispered, some smiled. Even my boss, one of the few friends left, advised me to take time off. I didn't argue. I needed space to think, to breathe, to survive. Then a call from an unknown number. "Jessica Chastain? I'm Joyce Meyer, Adam's mother." The world tilted again. Adam had told me he was an orphan, had no living family. His secret was unraveling in ways I had never imagined. Joyce revealed medical records proving Adam had been sterile for years. The child could not possibly be his. Hope and fear collided in me. Could this be the answer? Could it undo Laura's lies? Could I finally reclaim my life and Adam's legacy? I knew one thing. I wasn't going to be invisible anymore. Courtroom lights were harsh, sterile, unforgiving. Laura sat in the front row, holding the baby like a shield, her practiced sadness on display for all to see. My parents flanked her, proud and protective. She told her story convincingly, weaving a narrative of love, tragedy, and entitlement. "All I want is what's fair for my son," she said, tears welling in her eyes. Every word pricked at my resolve. The whispers of the gallery grew louder. My lawyer, Mr. Heyman, remained calm. When Laura finished, he presented the medical records from Joyce, proving Adam's sterility. The judge's eyes narrowed, skepticism brewing. Laura's composure cracked. "Those papers are fake," she shouted, gripping the baby tighter. The room held its breath. Then, Joyce herself stepped forward. Adam's mother, alive, ready to prove the truth. DNA tests would confirm what the records already suggested. Laura's face went pale, her act faltering under the weight of the evidence. The court recessed to perform the tests. For the first time in months, I allowed myself to breathe. The twist of fate, the revelation of Adam's sterility, flipped the power in my favor. The child, Laura's motivations, my family's betrayal, all were now on trial, and I had the evidence that could change everything. Days dragged until the DNA results returned. The courtroom was tense, each second stretching like hours. Laura clutched the baby, whispering soft reassurances as if her lies could protect her. The judge opened the envelope, scanning the results. The silence was deafening. Finally, she spoke. "No genetic connection exists between Adam Chastain and this child." Gasps erupted. Laura's face drained of color, mascara streaked with panic. My parents' expressions shifted from pride to shock and guilt. I felt a surge of vindication, tempered by grief. This hadn't been about money alone. It had been about betrayal, deception, and stolen years. Laura attempted excuses, but the evidence was irrefutable. Her scheme had collapsed. The judge ruled in my favor. All claims to Adam's estate were dismissed. For the first time, I could breathe without the weight of lies pressing against my chest. After the ruling, I stepped outside the courthouse. Sunlight hit my face, and for the first time in months, it felt like the world was mine again. Laura's wails faded behind me, replaced by a strange quiet, a calm I hadn't felt since the accident. I blocked my parents' numbers, severing the toxic threads. I handed Joyce the keys to the apartment Adam left her, an act of gratitude for the truth she had given me. Together, we began to untangle the web of Adam's past, sharing stories that were bittersweet but healing. It was a moment of reclamation. Not just of inheritance, but of life itself. The betrayal, the grief, the lies, all had led me to this place, standing tall, alive, empowered, no longer invisible. Weeks turned into months. I returned to work full-time, joined a hiking club, and planned a solo trip to reclaim joy outside my grief. Joyce and I grew close, sharing memories of Adam beyond the pain, discovering pieces of the man I loved that were real and good. I packed up the last of Adam's belongings, donating some to charity and storing the rest. Every item I touched was a piece of the past, but also a stepping stone toward the future. I no longer looked to my old family for validation. Laura's apology letter remained unopened, discarded like the lies it carried. Life, I realized, had a way of taking away the expected, but offering something else, new bonds, new freedoms, and the power to choose who to trust. In the mirror, I saw a woman who had survived heartbreak, betrayal, and grief. She was stronger, clearer, and ready to live on her own terms. Life had taken away my old story, but in its place, it had given me a life I could shape for myself. And maybe, just maybe, that was exactly the life I was meant to have.